to the MarcWes Sports Podcast.
But yeah, man, my bad. You know, the lightning just struck and the power went off at the crib. Had to wait for everything to turn back on. Of course. Oh shit! I need to fix the lighting.
Does that mean there's a storm warning? Because you know when there's a storm warning, that means that a player's about to commit to Miami.
Oh, come on, man.
That's what happened.
And piggybacking off what you said, man. You know, I know you heard about my dog JoJo. What's going on over here? And we signed a defensive tackle too, 4-star too. I mean, we haven't been talking about the Miami Heat, not Miami Hurricanes in a second because there's been so many transactions. I know you've been here and there and everywhere trying to, you know, get all these stories out. You feel me? But kind of like enlighten me because you know the biggest story I heard recently was JoJo. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm like, that's a 5-star, 5-star. I seen 3 or 5 store on 3 or 5 Sports in Kings County threw a whole bunch of clips on him once he committed. I'm like, oh my God. It just popped up and it popped up on Google.
Okay.
Kings County, yes.
That's what's up. Go to CanesCounty.com for more on JoJo's commitment to Miami Hurricanes. Yeah, he's a 5-star guy. Kid I've been watching for a very long time. He's part of a legendary youth football team called the Miami Gardens Ravens. And this has kind of been an ongoing story. We were like the first to really report on it last year. And we started to report on how the Miami Gardens Ravens could be a pipeline to Miami. Check that story out. Just Google it. It'll come up at CanesCounty.com. And on this team, Jeremiah Smith, 5-star. Jose Leon, who's an unbelievable player. He's not committed to Miami yet. Maybe it could happen, but he's at Appalachian State. Davion Goss, Bullet, the running back from Chaminade. The quarterback, CJ Bailey. Miami commits Chance Robinson, Vincent Shavers, OJ Frederic, all play for this Miami Gardens Ravens team. And we also trying to get LaWayne McCoy, who's also committed to Florida State, to flip to Miami. So that is Ryan Mack. I have to shout out Ryan Mack as well, also committed to Miami. He's actually the son of the head coach of that team, Rod Mack, who played for the University of Miami. So that is what's brewing in Coral Gables right now. This Miami Gardens Ravens pipeline to the U, and the latest was JoJo Trader. Just to say a little something about him, he's got a really great catch radius. He's probably the best pure pass catcher that I've seen in South Florida right now. And that's saying a lot because Jeremiah Smith is his teammate at Chaminade Madonna. He is also a really great route runner as well. Very crisp, very smooth, and he plays defense as well. A lot of people don't know that, but he plays safety for Chaminade as well at a high level. He could be a high rated prospect as a safety, but he's choosing to play wide receiver. I asked him about that, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't want to chase people around. I'd rather people chase me." And I was like, "Okay, I respect it, because he's an outstanding receiver." The first time he played on defense was for Miami Central, because he also played for Miami Central as well.
Pipeline.
But wanted to play with his youth football team, Jeremiah Smith at Chaminade. Part of the reason why he transferred, because that usually doesn't happen. Why would you transfer from Miami Central to Chaminade? Yeah, powerhouse to powerhouse. Okay. But yeah, he was in the championship game, played defense for the first time. What does he do? Pick six, 100 yards to the crib. So Joshia Trader is just a big get for the Hurricanes for a lot of different reasons. The fact that I already mentioned that youth football team that he was a part of, so he's going to continue to try to get JJ, is JoJo and JJ. JJ is Jeremiah Smith, to flip from Ohio State to Miami, and then LeWayne McCoy to flip from Florida State to Miami. Now, it's going to be harder to flip JJ than LeWayne McCoy. And, my guy Frank Tucker says that LeWayne McCoy is not even going to stay at Florida State, that he might, if he goes somewhere else besides Miami, it might be UCF. But
he ain't going to UCF.
I mean, you never know these days. If they see a spot, if they see a position where they can play right away, they could do that. You never know. But it's a big get for Miami. It's their first 5-star on the board right now. According to Rivals, they're 16th in the nation when it comes to their recruiting class. So the class is just going to continue to build up. And today, there's a possibility that they could have another player commit to Miami. Yesterday, they had Artavius Jones, who's an outstanding defensive tackle, commit to Miami. This kid plays basketball as well, just really athletic. And right after this podcast, I'll be posting a film review on CanesCounty.com, just kind of breaking down his film. My guy Steve-O does a great job with that. So tune in for that in about an hour. But yeah, he committed to Miami last night, so it just continues this momentum in recruiting. Now, one thing about Mario Cristobal, the guy can recruit, man. He can recruit with the best of them. And Miami has a barbecue coming up in a couple of weeks. And, last year it was a lot of positivity coming out of that barbecue. So I expect the same to come out of this one as well. I expect all the commits to come out and other players to possibly commit as well. Miami's still in the running for a 5-star in Camarion Franklin. He's a defensive lineman out of Mississippi. There's still a good chance that Miami gains his commitment. So we'll keep a lookout on that. So it could be another 5-star on Miami's recruiting cycle list. And yeah, man, it's popping per usual in Coral Gables because July is just a hot recruiting month. I mean, every other day it seems like a new player is committing. But if Miami can really continue this pipeline from the Miami Gardens Ravens to the U, then Miami's going to be back sooner than we think.
Yeah, I like all that. I like everything that you're saying, But none of that shit mean nothing if Miami don't do what we need to do in the season to keep these verbal commits committed. Because you know how these people from Dade County is, especially now you got the NIL that can easily sway someone to, go somewhere else or do what that cornerback did to us, making it seem like he was going to come to Miami and he wound up going to Colorado. I think we really can benefit from all this. It can be sooner than later that Mario Cristobal go ahead and flip this shit, because definitely I need my Saturdays and sometime Thursdays to be great. You feel me? Because when y'all lose, y'all make me feel some type of way, and especially how y'all was losing last year, getting blown out by teams that you should have been looking over. And I know people say, "Oh, don't look over teams." Like, come on, man. Like, we got the stars over here, and then there's a reason why you go to that school and we go over here. There's a reason why we got so much funding over here and you don't have that over there. And for us to lose to these teams and make me feel some type of way and look crazy against these Florida Gator fans and FSU fans, anybody that hate the Canes, I need to make sure that y'all capitalize on this upcoming season. I know we have a whole lot of on players like Margoa and Pancake Honcho, but they're young. I want to really see like if we really could do something because we got TVD, but it's a new offense. And last year I know he was injured, with his shoulder and shit like that, but he was looking crazy for me, man. And you seen it up in person. If that's the same TVD that we have, not the TVD that had that confidence and shit like that, then we out of there, man. You feel me? And those commits are gonna be out of there too. So the games that we need to motherfucking win, we need to win them shits. We need to blow motherfuckers out, because I don't want to just win. I want to whoop niggas' ass so people can see like, damn, all right, I'm coming to Miami, but we're not barely winning. We're dominating the teams that we were supposed to be dominating, and the teams like Texas A&M that may be close just because of the name of the school, just because of the name of the coach and certain things like that. Those are the games we could win by 3 points. Those are the games we could win by 5, 7 points. Every other team that's garbage as hell, that on paper supposed to be trash and supposed to be something that we leap over, we need to handle that shit. Because if we don't, all these verbal commits and all these prospects that you done just on praised, they're gonna go somewhere else. You know what I mean? And I ain't trying to go through ring around the rosy again. Right now, like you said earlier in the podcast, it was kind of hard, the learning phase of what you do with Kings County. But you know what makes everything easier? When we motherfucking win. There's something to talk about. You feel me?
One thing I will say is that Miami was able to keep most of all of their commits from last season, except for Komani McClain, like you said. But for the most part, they were able to keep a lot of players that, let's be honest, last season was one of the worst seasons ever, and for them to have a top 10 class after that is like, man, that's Mario Cristobal and that staff doing a crazy job. And yeah, man, I wrote a story on the first 2 games, just how critical they are. Check that out on CanesCounty.com, because the first game is against Miami of Ohio. All right. This is a team is in the bottom 90, I believe. I think they're ranked 90th or 100th, by most metrics going into this season. And Miami's favored by 17 points to win the game. You know what I'm saying? I think anything less than a 2-touchdown win is a disappointment.
Yes.
If they win by a touchdown, that's a disappointment, especially when he was favored by 17. I'm giving you 3 points of grace by saying 2 touchdowns. So, in the next game, they are actually the underdog against Texas A&M. They are the underdog by 6 points. Good. So basically, we're just expecting you to win that game. So you can win that game by 1. We'll be happy. So yeah, man. It to your point, those 2 games are really going to set the tone for this entire season. It's really going to let us know, okay, we're on the right track. If they beat Miami of Ohio by 2 touchdowns, and if they win against Texas A&M, both games are at home, you know what I'm saying? So you're not on the road, and they're back-to-back at home, so there's no travel. You stay home, you locked in, you have every reason to win those 2 games. Once you win those 2 games, of course, you're going to beat Bethune the next game after that. And then you're going to go to Temple. If you beat Miami of Ohio, of course, you're going to beat Temple. And then you play Georgia Tech, which you actually whooped up on last season. One of the rare highlights of last season was whooping up on Georgia Tech. That's that Cam Kitchen's 3 interception game and 1 to the crib game. You have a good chance of starting 5-0. And if you start off 5-0, this city's gonna be on fire. You know what I'm saying? Miami loves the Hurricanes. The Hurricane, they probably like the Hurricanes more than the Dolphins. You know what I'm saying? Because they just expect more. Miami fans expect more from the Hurricanes, even though they've been average for the most part for the past 20 years. Miami fans still expect more from the Hurricanes. The Dolphins, you know what I'm saying? I think there's some expectations now because last season they made the playoffs. So I think the expectation is to make the playoffs again and to win a playoff game. But if that happens, we good. We good. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, because we know we building, Tua's getting better. You know what I'm saying? That's how we feel. But for the Hurricanes, for the talent that we have down here, for the fact that we got 5 stars like Joshia Trader down here in our backyard. Last year, Brandon Ennis. This year, Jeremiah Smith. You know what I'm saying? And it goes on and on. Jerry Jeudy, Amari Cooper, Teddy Bridgewater, Lamar Jackson. Like we got all of these players that were here and balled out, and a lot of them didn't go to Miami. You know what I'm saying? None of those players that I named, besides Trader right now, went to Miami. So that's why we expect more, because we see high level football all the time. You know what I'm saying? They're our neighbors. You know what I'm saying? They're our classmates. There are, co-workers' sons, like these are players that continuously ball out and on every level, youth, high school, college, and the NFL. So we expect good football from the Miami Hurricanes football program, especially since they've done it before. You know what I'm saying? They still lead the state in championships. You know what I'm saying? Florida State and Florida, they both got 3 each. You know what I'm saying? We still got 2 championships on them, and we've been pretty much mediocre for the last 20 years. So yeah, man, I think it's definitely heading in the right direction. But I'm with you, man. Like this next season is critical, and it all relies on Tyler Van Dyke, though, man. Tyler Van Dyke is going to be in situations, no matter the team, because you're going to be in a high pressure situation. You're going to be in a 3rd and long, and we're going to need you to make a throw, or we're going to need you to run for a first down. Or Shannon Dawson, new OC, we're going to need you to draw up something creative to get the first down, to get into the red zone and score, not fumble the ball away, not,
big field goals.
Yeah, kick field goals, although we got one of the best kickers in the nation.
I don't want field goals, I want TDs.
We don't want Andy Borregales being the highest scorer of this team. We don't want that. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we wish the best for him. That's my guy, Andy. But come on, we want to score touchdowns. We want this offense, air raid offense, to really ball out this season. So we'll see what happens. The defense, I'm not too much worried about. Francisco Malgoa, that boy stay healthy. We got a solid linebacker in the middle. And if you got Wesley Basaint on that other side, you're good to go, because he already was starting last season as a freshman.
What's up with that deal on Popo? I think Popo Aguilar or something like that.
Yeah, Popo Aguirre, you just got there, so he wasn't here in the spring.
Tell me about how he looked, though. You feel me? Because like before he done came, people was talking great about him. I haven't really seen him really look that tape, but looking at him up close, physically wise, how do you compare him to the?
Physically, he's that guy.
Okay.
Physically, him and Marcellus Pulliam are those guys, bro. Okay. Even Bobby is that guy. Bobby took a huge
Mr. Hit Stick.
Yeah, Bobby took a huge jump in his senior year. He just filled out, and he's always been fast. Sometimes, he needs more direction, but he's gonna get that, on the college level. And like those linebackers, those young linebackers, I haven't seen a lot of Malik Bryant yet because he was hurt a little bit. But from what I heard from Ruben Bain, actually, me and Ruben Bain, whenever I see him, we talk, chatted up, and he was talking very highly of Malik Bryant. And he was like, yeah, dude, fast. He was like, dude is really fast. So that's good to hear. He also said that Branson Dean, who's a transfer from Purdue, is gonna be that guy. Haven't heard a lot from him because he was injured, but he was like, yo, that guy's a dog. And he's probably not even gonna start. So I'm telling you, that D line, we're gonna get to the quarterback. That Miami of Ohio game, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, we're getting to the quarterback. What I'm worried about, of course, is what we always worry about, Wes, is a running quarterback. Can we stop a running quarterback? Now, Miami of Ohio, we'll see who they start, because they got Blaine Gabbert. I don't know if you remember Blaine Gabbert.
I remember his garbage ass.
Yeah, his little brother is the quarterback from Miami, Ohio. And then, but he got hurt last season. just like how his brother do. He got hurt last season, but the backup was this running quarterback, Avion Smith, who had a really great season. Actually had the most yards running and throwing in the history of that school.
See, that's the shit that aggravate me. Every time, we're supposed to be playing one quarterback. I remember, I think we played, we played one team. I don't remember, but it was a regular pocket quarterback. He got injured, and then we wind up playing the running quarterback, and his ass was giving us the damn business. So me, I don't really want that guy to actually play. Find a way to injure yourself before we actually do play you. But again, that's that. You just, and me, still kind of being weary about, the running quarterback, even though it's a below average team. I ain't gonna say below average team. I mean, it's a team, but a team that we should be able to easily handle. It just shows you right now our confidence is not as great as it should be, because when we talking about the damn Canes, I'm trying to talk about the Canes like they were back in the G, where like we gonna mutt these boys. Oh, we want to bet too? Yeah, we gonna mutt that, and we gonna win bread too. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, different sport, but it involves young players. I mean, if the light didn't, lightning didn't turn off my power, we probably would have spoke on it already. But did you see that NBA player? What's his name? Let me see if I can find his name. Jalen Green.